everything. Let's find our way to a child's pose, which I like to have knees open. You could also choose knees closed. So nice wide knees allow me to keep my hips on my heels pretty well. And then you just slide forward to where you're comfortable. If your head does not get comfortably to the floor without lifting your hips up, then feel free to take a block and put the block or the pillow or the book, whatever you've got, under your forehead. If you can keep your hips on the heels as you slide down, just go ahead and relax your head onto the ground. In this child's pose, take a moment to breathe. Notice your breath is ongoing. Just go ahead and relax your head and listen. Yeah, nice. Your breath just keeps going. Every day, every minute. What an amazing thing. As you take a breath in, feel how it fills your whole body. Your back expands, your belly expands, your chest expands. Let everything expand. Then as you exhale, release. Let your hips sink further toward your heels. Let your chest move deeper toward the floor. And enjoy this little stretch. You can actually use your hands to push a little bit into the floor if you want to be more active. And that will help you push your hips back toward your heels. So as restful and simple as this pose is, there's a lot going on. It can help to release that low back a little bit. You can get a little stretch in your inner thighs. Breathe and release. And know that you are giving yourself a tremendous gift just by being here. Take your right hand, place it on top of your left hand, and begin to walk those hands to the left side of your mat. Think about your right hip. The right hip needs to actively push down into the heel or back behind you like the hand of a clock moving backward. Because as you move to the right, to the left with your hands, you will get that stretch in the right side body, and the natural tendency is to start lifting that hip. You have to actually push it down to get that stretch. And then breathe in. And on your exhale, release, relax, move deeper. And then gently move your hands back through the center. Take the left hand and place it on top of the right hand. Now glue that left hip to the left heel as your hands move to the right hand side. When you're here, breathe in deeply and fill your whole body. Feel your back expand. And when you're ready, exhale. And on that exhale, release, relax. Head back through the center, and let's do this one more time. The right hand is on top of the left hand. You glue your hips down to your heels, and you move your hands off to the left-hand side. Once you're there, take a nice deep breath in. And a nice exhale out. Then sliding the hands through the center, putting the left hand on top of the right hand, gluing the hips back to the heels, and moving the hands to the right side. Take that nice deep breath in. And as you're ready, let it out. Coming on back to center and gently pushing your way up to a seat. Nice. All right, while we're here, let's go ahead and take a quick breath. Inhale the arms up above your head, tipping your chin up, perhaps looking between your hands, and maybe even going a little further, lifting upward, maybe slightly behind you. And then when you're ready, flip your palms, exhale, lower the arms, and lower the chin, bringing the chin toward the sternum. One more time. Inhale, raise the arms. Maybe a little mini back bend when you're at the top. And when you're ready, flip the palms, exhale, and come back to center. Nice. We're going to move into that tabletop position where the knees are directly under the hips and the wrists are directly under the shoulders. So from here, we're going to start warming up the spine. As you inhale, we're going to let the belly come down, the hips push up, and look up with your head. And as you exhale, you're going to pull the belly up toward the spine. You're going to round the shoulders, pull the ears, or shoulder toward the ears, and chin toward the sternum. When you're ready to inhale, your shoulders come down your back, your tailbone goes up, belly down, head up. And when you're ready to exhale, the belly comes into the spine, the tailbone tips down, the head rounds, and the shoulders come up to the ears. So following your breath may want to go faster, your breath may want to go slower. Warming up your entire spine. Using your breath. Nice. Now, if you would like to continue this, you may. But if you want to do a little disco cat and cow, you get to move around your hips, your shoulders, whatever feels good, pushing forward and back. This is about observation of yourself and how your body feels when you move. Do you want to kind of hold still in one spot? What's your body asking for? Nice. When you're ready, come to stillness. From this position of stillness, I want you to find the strength. Push with your shoulders into your hands, like you're trying to push that floor away and lift yourself off the ground. Think about your pelvic floor. Lift the pelvic floor toward your heart. At the same time, you're lifting it toward the spine, upward. Good. Finding strength here. In this strength, I'd like you to tip your toes under, just so you have nice support there. And then literally, you're going to lift those knees about 1 inch off the floor. If you find that too challenging, you go a little higher, it makes it easier. So the closer it is to the floor, the harder it is to hold. But you're using the strength, pushing through your shoulders, lifting through your core,
Holding. Good. Release the knees. Push back into the child's pose for just a breath. And back up to the tabletop. Find strength. Think about that core supporting you. Push in with your arms. Now put more emphasis on your left hand. Your right hand is going to come out to the side. Nice. You could hold right here, or you can push more into your left hand and begin to open your whole body toward the right side. As you lift your arm higher and higher, your body eventually can only turn so far. You can also look under that arm. Nice. Breathe in, breathe out. And when you're ready, bring the right arm under the left arm. Tuck it under, and you could bring the right shoulder all the way to the ground, and you can rest your head on the ground. The left arm can either push into the ground to help your left shoulder open up. Some people prefer to bring it forward. Some people prefer to bring it behind your back. It's your choice. And then breathe in and breathe out. And then gently push back up, bringing the right arm out to the 90-degree angle again. Now it's your choice. You can stay here, you could stay at the top, you could stay at the bottom, or if you want to breathe, with every inhale, you lift up, and with every exhale, you tuck under. I love to follow the breath. Let the breath guide me. And as I move with the breath, I can consciously slow the breath. More and more, slow the breath. See when you get to the end point of the breath and the end point of the range of motion, if there isn't a millimeter further that you can go. And when you are ready, come back to the tabletop position in balance again and find your strength. Pushing into your hands, lifting the core. Now beginning with the left arm coming out to 90 degrees. And when you're ready, pushing into the right hand, consciously from the shoulder, tipping the body, lifting the left arm, looking under. And as you're ready, tucking the left arm under the right, bringing the shoulder and the head down to the ground. Deciding where you want your right arm to be. And from here, deciding where you get the most benefit. Is it staying still or is it moving with the breath? You know your body best. So you can observe and listen to your body and decide, what does my body want at this moment? And when you're ready, come back to that tabletop. From the tabletop, you can push your hips back. You can bring your knees a little bit wider, and you can go into a child's pose for just a couple of breaths. And when you're ready, you're gently going to push yourself back up to that seat and back into your tabletop. Good. So we're also going to do a little bit of core work because it's all related. So we're going to start by extending your left leg behind you. Make sure you're pushing in with your hands, lifting the pelvic floor, holding strong. Watch out for starting to tip. That's tipping your hips is not going to give you the effort. It's not going to give you the benefit. Keep parallel to the floor. You have to consciously pull that left hip down. Lift the pelvic floor, hold the ribs together, push into the palms through the shoulders. Now imagine somebody's pulling that leg behind you. Don't just hang it there. Keep it strong. Now you could have just the leg back and keep it there, or you can extend the right arm forward. Lift the core, keep the hips stable. Inhale, exhale. If you want, you can go to 45-degree angle with both your arm and your leg. Nice. Now do those little pointers where it's like you're pointing and pushing a doorbell. And I'm doing the same thing with my leg as I am with my finger. So it's basically squeezing your glutes. You can feel that. Just a little bit of activation. Good. And back to center. And if you wish, you can bring your knee and your elbow together. Do that about 3 times. Good. Now, if you're holding still and you haven't dropped out yet, I know it gets tricky, you can bend your left leg behind you and bring it up toward the sky. You can bring your right arm behind you and you can grab the foot or put a towel around it or a strap, I know. And then you push that left arm or left foot up toward the sky. Good. Get a nice stretch there. And release. And down. Push back into your child's pose for just a moment. Take a couple of nice breaths.
It helps if you're Gumby.
It does help if you're Gumby. Otherwise, we just do the best we can, and we actually get more benefit than those Gumbies who have to work really hard to get the sensation. After taking a couple of breaths in your child's pose, when you're ready, come back to your tabletop position. All right, in the tabletop position, lift the core, pelvic floor lifts, belly lifts, ribs pull together, push in through those hands from the shoulders. You've got this. Now take your right leg and extend the right leg behind you. It's not weak though, the knee isn't bent. That's harder to do, it takes more strength. Straighten the leg, lift from the core. There you go. Watch out for that hip that is going to want to open. Keep it parallel to the ground. I love that modification, Ellen. Toes on the ground, still getting a lot of benefit. That's beautiful. All right, from here, you could stay with just the leg lifted, or you can raise the left hand. Nice. By the way, I can feel, because the angle of my arm, that I'm working harder. If I pull that a little bit better, so it's under my body, under my shoulder, more in alignment, that now I'm getting, it's not like you're working harder, you're working easier in order to have more strength. So find that proper alignment. Good. When you're here, you can decide to go out to 45 degrees. And you could decide to push the doorbell with your arm and your leg. Just these little quick mini bends and straightens, activating the muscles. But don't forget, your core is still working. Lifting, you got it. Good. Back to center. Nice. From here, we decided we could do, if we wanted, 3 elbow to knees. Exhaling as you pull together. And if you would like to do that stretch, you're going to bend your right knee. You're going to reach your left hand back. You're going to push your right thigh up toward the sky and say, wow, I can't do this. Yes, you can. In any form that works for you. Good. And release. Set down. Find your child's pose. Head down, relax, and breathe for a couple of breaths. When you're ready, come on up. We've been on our knees for a while, so let's change this. Let's go ahead and come to a standing position. Turn sideways on my mat, so the long way I'm facing, and I'm going to have my feet pretty wide apart, moderately wide. All right, let's start with the toes tipping outward, and make sure that the knees are pointing toward your toes. Whichever position you choose, the knees should point toward the toes. Let's put the hands onto the thighs as you put your rear end behind you. So you're bending your knees and you're bending from your hip. And I want you to lengthen your spine. Lift your pelvic floor, pull the ribs together. Take those shoulders, which are up by your ears, and bring them back down. You might even turn the palms so that the fingers are facing inward. That'll help you pull the shoulders down. Lift the belly. Push the hips further behind you. Good. Now you're going to lift the hips as you straighten the legs. And then you're going to bend the knees as you lower the hips. So you're doing a form of squat here, but you're kind of going back and forth. Raising and lowering by straightening the legs, raising the hips, and lowering, bending the knees, lowering the hips. And every time you come down, you're going to be pushing the knees apart, making sure that they're over those feet. And continually work to lengthen the spine. One of the things that all of you are doing is this. And you see how my chin and my shoulders are kind of like up here together? So everybody has to work to lengthen the spine. Keep the shoulders down. Oh yeah, there you go, good. Nice. Now, if you would like, when you're in your low position, you can keep your hands here, or you can come down to your elbows. You have to be pretty parallel to the floor, pretty low, to get comfortable with those elbows. And then I'm going to just slide to the left and to the right. It's only a few inches, but it's getting a nice stretch there. Good. Now I'm going to put the hands all the way to the floor. If your hands don't get all the way to the floor, use whatever you've got. Blocks, stacks of books, anything you've got. And we definitely have the knees bent. The straighter your legs are, the harder it's going to be to reach the floor. So bend the legs nice and deep. Nice big bend. Good. And then again, I'm going to go side to side, allow my heels to lift a little bit. Deep bend to those knees. Try to get really low. And then I'm going to go to my left side. And for me, my heel is definitely up. But I'm way over here on the left. And I'm going to straighten my right leg. So I'm up on my toes. And I have a straight right leg. And I've got two hands supporting me. Nice. And this gives me a nice stretch in that straightened leg, in my right leg. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now I'm going to bend the right leg and bring it toward me a little bit because it's too far out for me to do much with. And I'm going to scooch through the middle, over to the toes of the right leg. And then I'm going to, again, wobble my left foot away so that it's going to be nice and straight. Good. And then you can hang out here. You can move back and forth and left and right and around. Now you can decide to just hang out on each side or to go back and forth from side to side. And you can decide to be really low or to be up here where I have two hands on one side, the other leg is straight and the toes are up on that side. And this is just fine too. And I can go back and forth, straightening one side to the other side, choosing your level. So this works. Nice. When you are ready, come to stillness. And again, we have our legs fairly wide still. And use whatever you need, block, floor, whatever you've got. We're going to straighten your legs as much as possible. You can have a little bend in there. And allow yourself to fold as far as you can. So many little bends in your knees are good. You can have your hands on the floor, the block. Go ahead and drop your head toward the floor. And then breathe. I find this oh so relaxing. Very good for your back. Very good for your hamstrings. Now play with your weight a little bit. Try to put more weight in the ball of your feet for a moment. Move your hands forward, it'll help you. And then decide if you'd like to try putting weight in the heels of your feet. And then you can do right and left. The nice thing when you put your weight in the balls of the feet is you're like, oh, I can suddenly get 3 inches closer to the ground. It's kind of fun. Nice. Slowly lift yourself a little bit and then walk your feet closer together. It's going to help you to get out of this. You can bring your elbows up to your knees. You can bring your hands to your knees. And we're going to think about pushing your feet down and out so we're activating the muscles so we don't put any pressure in our back as we slowly come to stand. Success? We're going to lie down for a minute. Let's go ahead onto our backs, that's fine. And go ahead and bend your legs. My feet are flat on the floor. And I'm going to go ahead and focus on my core for a moment. I'm going to lift the pelvic floor. I'm allowing the hips to rotate. Rotating up toward my body this way. Good. Now, if you think about your feet, pushing the feet down and out, that's also going to activate this whole core, make everything tight. And if you would like, you can begin to lift the hips as you push the knees forward, away from you. Lifting the hips, pushing the knees forward. This is your bridge pose. And breathe in and breathe out. One more time. Breathe in and breathe out. Lower the back one vertebrae at a time, coming down with those hips so that you rest again on the ground. Then when I say activate, tighten everything up and now begin to lift those hips again.
as high as you can get them. Push the knees forward, push the knees away from you. Take a nice breath in and a nice breath out. Do it again. And then release slowly from the top of the back, lowering one vertebrae at a time, down the spine to the hips. Good. All right, let's go ahead and roll the knees toward the left side. Hold for a breath or two. And as you're ready, back through center and to the right side. And then hold for a breath or two. And back to center one more time. Go ahead and make a little ball. Bring your knees toward your chin. Bring your chin toward your knees. Wrap your arms around and hold this ball really tight. Good. And then release. Go ahead and sit up again, please. I would definitely like to do Malasana today. That, again, is really good for releasing the back. So to get into your Malasana, let's try different options. One way is to go to the wall. And with the feet fairly far apart, maybe 2 feet apart, I'm simply going to slide down the wall. And if my rear end actually hits the ground, that's okay. If I can stay above the ground, that's okay. Use your hands on the wall to support you. So you're just going into this nice, deep squat. Other options for this. I love it when I have a partner. If I can hold somebody's hands, so if this wall were a person, I can hold their hands. And again, we can resist, and we can go down into this squat. And back up. If you're freestanding, I would have your feet about mat width apart. And again, start the way we started before. You're just supporting yourself. Rear end back, hands on the knees. You're working to get down as far as you can and trying to keep those heels down. Pushing your knees out with your elbows. Trying to lift your back towards straight. A lot of us end up kind of like this, and that's okay for now. You work toward vertical. For those who it's really easy for, you'd work toward getting your feet closer together. Okay, mine are not going to go that much further. And again, if it's super easy for you, instead of having your feet outward the way most of us do, you can work toward putting your toes forward. Yeah. I have to find ways to make it a little bit more challenging. Nice. And then if you can put your hands to the floor, I love going back and forth between a nice forward fold and then tipping the toes out and going back down into that Malasana and then breathing again. And then hands to the floor, raising the hips, turning the toes forward, dropping the head down, feeling that stretch along the whole back side. Then tipping the toes out, lowering the hips, going back into that Malasana. Something about this back and forth, going in and out, just helps release everything, helps the body understand that it is in a safe place, and helps it to go a little bit further in each direction as you release.
Nice. All right, and once you're down in your Malasana, just gonna find your way onto your back.
Onto your back.
Yep, we're all the way down to the ground again. I'm gonna keep my left leg bent, but I'm gonna extend my right leg up toward the sky. And then I'm gonna reach up, and you could grab your toe, or you could grab your ankle, or your knee, wherever you can grab. Push that heel up toward the sky, and then relax and bring that knee toward your belly or your arm. And then push up toward the sky again, straightening that leg. And then relax it, bringing the knee toward the belly or the arm. Do that a few more times. Our hamstrings and our hips, it's so tight. It's important that we give them a little bit of attention. Nice. Release the right leg. Straighten the left leg toward the sky. Grab wherever you can grab. Pushing the heel up toward the sky. And then releasing, bending that knee toward the arm. And when you're ready, extending it again. Bending as you're ready. And when you're ready, extending it again. Do that maybe 2 more times. And then bring both feet toward the ground. Put the soles of your feet together and the knees out so that you're in Supta Badakanasana. And breathe for a moment, relaxing, enjoying. Now you may find you're not quite ready for stillness here because this is really tight for many people. So if you do this little bit of rocking of your hips back and forth, I find that my body relaxes a little bit more. My body releases. It says, oh, so much better. And then having rocked a few times, if I come to stillness, it's not quite as clenched. So sometimes I'll find the stillness, and then I'll just do a little rock, just once or twice, and then I'll find stillness again. And then when it seems to get kind of too intense again, you just rock again. And when you're ready, you hold still again. Kind of back and forth. Teaching your body about the stillness. Now, while I'm here, I'm going to think about my shoulders. So many times we've done this where we raise our shoulders up, back, and pull them down your back. Well, while you're lying down here, I want you to think about, especially that pull down portion. Can you pull the shoulders down your back? Nice. And you may choose to stay right here if you love this. Or you may choose to do a happy baby for a moment. Or you may choose to roll to one side, to do a twist above your head. Whatever it is that your body is asking for at this moment. And when you're ready, find your Savasana. Traditionally, you'll have your feet at about mat width and your arms at about 45-degree angle. You may have something under your knees or under your head. You might also choose just to put your legs up the wall. Lots of options, but just find symmetry.
in this final relaxation
while you listen to the sound of my voice. This is a beautiful world. Think for a moment of a flower and how soft it is and how strong it is. It is beautiful. And think for a moment of a mountain in the distance. Picture the snow, the blue sky, picture the clouds. It is strong, and it is soft, and it is beautiful. And picture a river or a stream. I love the trees on either side of it. I love the rocks and the sand and the sound of the water moving. It is so soft and so strong. And it is beautiful. Now picture yourself lying on the ground. So perfect, even with all of these imperfections. And from a distance, you look, you see this strong and soft, beautiful person. You are beautiful. In yoga, we know that all of the work, all of the asana are preparing our bodies for stillness. And that in this stillness of the body, we have the opportunity to find just many little moments, glimmers of stillness in the mind. Continue to breathe and listen as we hope to find those glimmers. Feel the weight of your feet. Your entire awareness is on your feet. And as you focus on your feet feel heavy. And they get heavier and heavier. Allow your heavy feet to sink deeply into the floor. Then bring your awareness to your legs. Weight of your legs. Allow your heavy leg to get heavier and heavier and heavier. Allow these heavy legs to sink deeply, deeply into the floor. And draw your awareness to your back body. Feel the weight of your back body connected to the floor. Allow your back body to get heavier and heavier and heavier. Allow this heavy back body to sink deeply, deeply into the floor. And bring your awareness to your shoulders and your arms. Feel the weight of your shoulders and arms. Allow these shoulders and arms to get heavier and heavier and heavier. Allow these heavy shoulders and arms to sink deeply, deeply into the floor. And draw your awareness to your face. Release your tongue from the top of your mouth. Allow your lips to part. And relax all the muscles around your mouth, allowing them to pull back toward the earth. And draw your awareness to your ears. Release the little muscles holding up your ears. Allow gravity to pull your ears back toward the earth. And draw your awareness to your eyes. All around the eye socket and up through the eyebrows are little muscles. Release those. Allow the entire face to pull back toward the earth. And to draw your awareness in between the eyebrows to the spot known as the third eye. Be aware of the space between the eyebrows. And then move this awareness deeper inside your brain to that pituitary gland. And move your awareness deeper into your mind. As an observer in your mind, you see a large television screen. And you notice a thought enter on the left side of the screen. Move across the screen and exit to the right. And then again, another thought enters on the left, moves across the screen, and exits to the right. As an observer, you simply watch as the thoughts enter and exit. And you notice that there is space after one thought leaves before the next thought enters. Put your awareness into that space. In this space between the thoughts, you feel amazing. Everything is beautiful, and yet nothing. Everything is love, and yet that's all there is. You are not alone. You are connected to all others, and all others are also love. In this space of love, you feel contentment, joy, peace, rightness. Enjoy this amazing, peaceful place silently the next minute. And when you are ready, begin to notice the floor underneath you, the air against your skin, the sounds of your house. And then begin to notice your body again. Wiggle a finger or a toe, maybe stretch from side to side. And when you're ready, I invite you to keep your eyes closed as you roll onto your right side, tucking your knees toward your belly, supporting your head on your arm. This is a position of comfort and security where you can easily receive. Feel now like you are receiving a great big hug, holding you tight, loving you in all of your perfection. And if you choose to, you may silently say your first name followed by I am deeply with you. And from here, gently push yourself up into a seated position of comfort. Drawing your hands together at heart center. And remembering that the word namaste means the light that is within me honors, sees, loves, knows the light that is within you. And so we share. Namaste.
Namaste.